I guess it's that, I would say, mix of adrenaline and of working in the kitchen and being busy, and it's tough and it's grueling and it's rewarding, and it's a mix of everything. It's mixed emotions, if I can put it that way.
I work with a lot of winemakers, and I feel like there's some similarities as far as making wines and food, and obviously similar culinary and lifestyle. And I just always find that people who have confidence in their first set of skills, they find parallels and metaphors in others. And so I think how you control a kitchen, perhaps, or how you communicate, comes across in media as well. That confidence.
Well, it's a learning because when you start in the kitchen, you only see what's in front of you. It's like you don't have a good grasp of everything that's going on around you, because you start as a prep cook, so as a line cook, and you just work one station. You work, like most of the time you work with garde-manger, cold stuff, because you don't have the speed, you don't have the confidence, you don't have the knife skills, so you have to work and build on that to be able to grow the ladder, and then after you work like odd halves and after the grill and saute, and once you're able to master all the stations, that's when you become a sous chef, and after you go from sous chef to chef and executive chef, and so it takes a while to build all of that. It takes a while.
It's interesting. Speaking of taking a while, let's go way, way back. You have generational experience in a kitchen because of your grandparents.
Well, my dad was a professional chef in south of France, in Monaco. All my grandparents, both my grandmothers and my grandfathers, were great cooks. And I had actually one of my great-grandfather was a professional cook in Paris in a place called Les Halles, which was an open-air market that was very famous in late 1800s, early 1900s. And he worked over there. So it's like there was a very famous French brasserie open over there. It used to be called Au Pied de Cochon. And the story behind that is that the gentleman that opened that place wanted to have a place where all the chefs could meet, because there was the open air market that was right next to it. So you had a mix of late night partiers that would go out and party, and they wanted a place to be able to go eat and drink all night long. And you had a place for all the people that worked until late that wanted to go to a place where they could go and eat something before they went home. Then you had a place where the chefs that they had to go to the market at 4 o'clock in the morning to be able to pick the poultry and the rabbits and the quails and all the fish coming from Brittany on a daily routine to pick everything they wanted. And they would do that at 4 o'clock, but after they needed a place to go for breakfast, so they open Au Pied de Cochon right by, and it's open 24 hours a day. It's always been a mix of people from the showbiz, like singers and actors, and people that that have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the market and they want a place to have something to eat. So it's
what a host of characters.
Yeah, so you would have Mick Jagger sitting at the bar over there enjoying something, or next to him would be like a chef with his commis, then a 14-year-old having andouillette or like a piece of saucisson and bread for breakfast with a glass of red wine at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's always been a mix of everything over there.
That's incredible. And now, just to tie it together, this is the famous story of you playing with the lobsters. Is this where this happened?
No, that story was when my dad opened the restaurant where he was the chef in Monaco.
Okay.
And so they had the big aquarium with the spiny lobsters and the lobsters. And I was five and a half, and he would take me on his motorcycle to Monaco, and I was told all the stories that I would go and take the little net and actually go fishing for the spiny lobsters and the lobsters and play with them.
Amazing. So really the answer isn't one inspiration. It sounds like a childhood of inspiration. It sounds like weekly and daily you had amazing kitchen experiences and restaurant experience growing up.
Well, unfortunately my dad passed away when I was really young. I was 6 when he passed away, but I guess I was drawn to that cooking and that kind of, I would say, lifestyle and kind of chaotic. Because working in the kitchen is it's like the only thing is what time you start. You never know when you get done. It might be quiet and you might be gone and done home at night by 10 o'clock. And if you start to get busy and it gets long, it might not be done until 2 o'clock in the morning. So I guess it's that, I would say, mix of adrenaline and of working in the kitchen and being busy, and it's tough and it's grueling and it's rewarding, and it's a mix of everything. Mixed emotions, if I can put it that way.
I love it. We hear so often, I'm not sure if it's a cliche, but the different characters that take place in a kitchen, and it sounds like you've had similar experiences as far as the personalities go in a restaurant.
Yeah, because you have some chefs, that it's like everybody's different. My way to run the kitchen is different from the way that some of the chefs I worked with. It's like a recipe. You take bits and pieces from a recipe to make the same dish, and you make it your own. So your management style is the same way. I work for some chefs that were very good at managing people, but in the kitchen they were good, but not as great as some other ones. And some of them, you would give them a potato and a couple of items, and they would be like geniuses at creating dishes, but they were not the best at managing people. So you have to make your own. You pick bits and pieces from all your experiences,
Sure.
and then after you create your own style. It goes the same thing for the food.